It took me a minute to realize I had been going on for quite a minute, and guess what? I wasn't recording the entire time, or at least the audio. The audio completely got shut out. So you know what? What's going on, guys? I wanted to go ahead and get into this, okay? Elden Ring is a fantastic game. But the reason why I wanted to talk about it is because it's a game that has been asked, is there going to be a game better than that? Probably not. All right, and the reason why I'm even talking about this is because a video popped up of a YouTube short that had to do with Asmongold's channel, and it was about him being asked whether or not it's the best game is going to be topped, basically. And the clip that actually came from was like the coolest clip I've seen pretty much, I'd say bar none. All right, it's one of the best clips I've seen, which is where the guy is the MC. He is main character syndrome incarnate. And there's no audio in it, obviously, because there's music, so I had to cut that out. Now, I wanted to show that and talk about this because Elden Ring was a fantastic game. It's something that you just can't recreate. It's not going to probably happen again unless they do like a sequel. I'd imagine they would have to do a sequel in a new plain area, and that would be the only way. Now, not necessarily a sequel, but we'll just say like a cookie cutter cut, essentially, where it's not going to be Elden Ring, but it'll be Elden Ring-esque. Kind of like Dark Souls is where it began, but the open world aspect is something they did. They're going to have to probably go forward with. I might be wrong, maybe foot and mouth, and they're going to figure something out that's just amazing. But it's going to be one of those things where I don't think it's going to get topped. Now, the reason why I talk about it so well, that like I love it, is because it's one of the only Souls games that I actually platinumed. Okay, I've gotten close to platinum a few of them, just from sheer brute force. But Elden Ring was one of the ones that I honestly played for like the probably 100 hours, 80 hours, whatever. Enjoyed every minute of it and platinumed it, which here's the proof right somewhere in here. But basically, it was one of the few games where I enjoyed it from beginning to end. And I'll go ahead and be honest, yes, one of the trophies I didn't officially fully get on my own. I missed a weapon, a buddy of mine lent it to me, and boom, I got the trophy. I think that counts. You know what? Go ahead and suck one. I think it's fine. But still, I got the platinum. It's a great game. I loved it. The DLC was great. I actually never finished the DLC. I'm at the final boss and just stopped. I guess I finally hit the fatigue and I just didn't care to beat him. I did it on stream, like I streamed most of it. Got stuck on the DLC boss, who was so hard. I don't know why, but I found her to be harder than Melania for a little bit, but yet I beat her quicker than Melania, but she was like Melania 2.0. I don't remember who it is, but it is literally one of the Scarlet Rot. It's a Scarlet Rot boss with I think it was Centipede and like a Scorpion tail. I don't remember the boss's name or anything. It was actually like a come and go thing. That's why I say the DLC just wasn't that important. By the way, that's why Melania is back here. I bought that exclusively because she was the biggest pain in my ass for gaming history, period. I'd never fought anything harder, and I hope I never do again. But to kind of get back on track, what I wanted to talk about is why I don't think there's going to be a game better. And I just mean in the Soulsborne-esque style of games, Dark Soul games, whatever you want to call it. Basically, just the really harder than nuts games that you have to get good at. There's not going to be a better one, probably bar none, because of the fact that the map exploration was just top tier. I've said this before with Expedition 33, and I'll say it again with Elden Ring. It's one of those games where you just, at least for me, you can't experience it great, like for the first time more than once. It's the only downside. It's a horrible downside to having games, is the experience is only really at its peak the first time you play it. I remember going down to the they were like underground caverns. I can't remember what they were, but basically it looked like stars in the sky. I don't remember the map. I am just drawing a blank. I want to say it starts with an N. I cannot remember. And instead of looking it up and trying to sound all smart, I'm just going to let everybody go, well, it was this area, and call me out and let me know how dumb I am. But basically, the first time I went down the elevator, and I wasn't even doing YouTube at the time. I wish I would have actually streamed it. My reaction was it was just so beautiful and unforeseen before, like to me. It's just an area I've never could have just imagined, where you're at the top, you're at, seeing fields and all these monsters want to kill you, and then you go to the underground cavern for the first time, and it's just like, you're used to Dark Souls, okay? You're going to go down, and it's probably going to be this real tight-knit caverns of just absolute butt-fuckery and monsters. But in reality, it was a beautiful, very I'd say dark to blue to very bright dot lights. It was like being in midnight all the time with the sky lit up. And it was just something you can't really re-experience that first time. It was so great. And then all the bosses that were down there was pretty, neat and entertaining. I liked all of them. And like I said, this is just one of those games I don't think is going to come around again. Like it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see a game reach this great magnitude it reached. And we're still getting bangers, don't get me wrong. Like Baldur's Gate 3 is a really good game. I don't really prefer the game type. The slow pace and all that, selecting everything. Now, the selection that you get to pick throughout the entire game is massive. It is amazing, but there is just way too much, and it's slow. Not a bad game. I even supported them. I bought it just because of supporting the company, because of what they did with Larian, I think, and they did such a massive undertaking. It was such a massive project that should be gaming going forward. That it actually made ripples throughout the gaming universe, where all these different creators are like, yeah, don't let this be the what's going forward. But we still get stuff like that. Expedition 33. There's still other really good like game of the year, game of the century type games to me. But Elden Ring, I think, has hit its peak as far as Dark Souls games. Not probably overall. There's probably going to still be wonderful Dark Souls games that's going to have very gritty aesthetics. It's going to be some very detailed, super hard, complicated like systems where it's going to be like you can use magic or you can be strength/dexterity build. Myself, I'm just a thorn in everybody's side. I try to dodge and just do damage. It's going to take forever, but that's all I do. I try to do as much damage I can whenever I get a chance. I'm a brute force moron, okay? It's as simple. Two-headed weapons is my bread and butter. That's the only thing I can say. I cannot do anything else. I'm terrible at it. All the games I play is usually me using a two-handed massive sword. And if it's what I can use, it's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to block where I can and pull that out. Sometimes I can parry. Like Dark Souls 1, for instance. The final boss, I forget his name now, too. But anyway, Gwen, I think it's Gwendolyn, whatever. The fire asshole, big giant flaming Santa. He is very hard to beat, to me, except for his parry. If you could parry him, you got him. I mean, I literally parried him. I think it was 3 times, maybe 4 if I remember right, and it beat him. Man, I got lucky. It was RNG. I kept getting my ass whooped. I was getting frustrated with the DLC, so I ran back and did that. But yeah, but basically back on track. Elden Ring, I think, is going to be the peak that we will receive, coming to like Dark Souls itself. Now, the new Night Rain, I'm not going to shit on it, okay? It's not my type of game. It's just not going to be. I just don't see the appeal. Buddy of mine, huge Souls fan. He's loved Souls games left and right. I get why he's going to want it. He's going to play the hell out of it. I understand. But this is just not going to be a game for me. But anyway, even if it's in the lore of Dark Souls, it's just not going to be it. I'm not going to say it's bad. It's a unique idea for the most part, like the amalgamation that they're doing of all the different game styles that are going into a Soul style, which is, it's cool. It's fine. It's just, like I said, I don't like roguelikes, and I don't really care for Battle Royale. And this is essentially just a little amalgamation of both. Do that again. Amalgamation of both that I just don't really care for, and being Elden Ring, so it's going to be, ball shit hard. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do 2 game types I don't like, and then mix that in with a hard game. Now, I love difficulty. I do. I like the Souls series. I just can't play them back to back like a lot of other streamers or content creators do. It's just not for me. It's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, I just want to play one for probably a week or 2, hate myself, cut it off, and just say I beat it and never do it again. Maybe at least until probably years down the road, because it takes me forever to calm down from the amount of nail-biting, absolute terror that comes from getting your ass whooped from one slap or another. The monsters constantly, like bosses constantly teabag the shit out of me. This is coming from somebody that enjoys it, but like masochist enjoyment. I don't know why. I'm not that great at them, and I just play the hell out of them and love them. There's a few of them. We'll say Sun Wukong. I was pretty decent at it. Beat a lot of those fairly quick, not too long, for a casual gamer. I'm going to say that. I'm a casual gamer. I'm not a hardcore gamer that's a professional player. This is just casual, laid back. I'm pretty decent at it, and I loved it. So yeah, the Souls games I know are still going to come around. They're still going to be made. They're still not going to be bad, more than like, we'll kind of throw them out here and there, but I would say the actual Dark Souls from soft games will not necessarily be bad. I just don't know if they're going to reach the peak that Elden Ring hit. But yeah, guys, that's about all I got to say. Y'all have a good one.